to The Mother You Know, The Woman You Don't. This is a podcast with put on by 3 everyday women who just like to sit around and talk about how bad our mother was. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
We're
so
talk
wait a
about our
minute.
life.
I'm your
That's not what
mother.
was written. That's right. She's here. Sorry. We've been talking with our family and friends about their relationships with their mothers and how that relationship affected their life. And today we have our cousin Shelby join. And like I keep saying, we need to draw a family tree so you can figure out how all these people are connected to us. But my cousin Shelby is my Aunt Debbie, who is my mom's she's the next to youngest sister.
Yes.
And Shelby is her daughter. She's got 2 brothers and her. So we were lucky enough to have her come in today and talk to us about, her and my mom will both have lots of really good stories. The one thing I always remember about Aunt Debbie is that she's just incredibly funny. Like she can just turn anything into a joke, including an aneurysm, which we'll get to that too. So she can make the worst of situations just funny. I mean, probably inappropriately funny, but funny. So
it was definitely going to be inappropriate.
Yeah, for sure inappropriate. What actually would shock us if it was appropriate. Okay. Not shocked by the inappropriate. So Shelby, why don't you tell us a little bit about maybe your story and your mom growing up, and I'm sure mom will have tons of, probably things to talk about Debbie's childhood, but tell us a little bit about your mom and what you remember about her from the earliest on and what you know about her life, like where she was born and, her and your daddy, where they met and got married. So just tell us a little bit about your beginning and where you're from.
Yes. Okay. My parents, they met down in Houston. There was so many in our family that they were all intertwined. I don't even know. Mac and them knew my dad. Anyways, they met when they were, of course, really young down there in Houston. My brothers, I was born in Galveston. I don't really remember living down there at all whenever I was young. I mean, of course, we moved up here when I was 2. I was in East Texas since then. Gosh, our childhood was hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to talk about sometimes, though, for real. I was talking to David the last time I was down there, and I was just like, I don't know, is it just because there wasn't, or just because that's all I remember? I don't remember a lot of good growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all know, we don't have to go into the whole shebang, but
yeah,
it was hard growing up, and we were always living with grandma, and my mom was so strong, though. She went through so much. Y'all know I'm gonna cry now. I'm gonna try really hard not to.
I am too. Yeah.
Sorry. She was
a
really
very
strong.
Yes, she was strong. Yeah.
I mean, we went through a lot growing up, and goodness. I remember her always being the one that stood beside us, and that, I don't know. She's the reason we're all, me and my brothers are still here. And I know that it wasn't perfect by any means, but she did the best she could, I guess, with what she had at the time, And then the aneurysm came, and she never really, I don't know, she never really the same after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
still strong till the end and still incredibly just funny. I just always remember her making the best, or I don't even know if it's the best of a bad situation or whatever, just always making, and I guess that just comes from strength,
Yeah.
Right. So how old was your mom when she had the boys first? Because you're the youngest of 3. So she was a young mom, right? Wasn't she? I remember her being young, getting married.
Yeah. I honestly don't know exactly how old she was when the boys were.
How old was Debbie, Mom?
Debbie was, I'm trying to remember where I was when she was the youngest. I mean, she was next to the youngest other than Yvonne, but she was 8 before Yvonne was born. And we got married when Yvonne was born. She was just born. Debbie was probably 8 when we got married. So it doesn't seem like, let's see, how old is David right now, Shelby? Do you know? Is he in his 40s yet?
I don't think so. He's almost there. I think he's 39 this year.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe this year is the big 40.
Pretty soon, if not now, soon. So
Yeah.
Debbie was young, probably in her 20s, at least in her early 20s. I don't think she was 18 or 19 when she had the boys.
Yeah, and how far in age? Y'all were all close, right? Because Dave and Dougie were pretty close in age, right?
The boys were 15 months apart.
Yeah, real close.
Oh, that's pretty close.
And then me and Doug are 5 years apart, and then that would make me and David 6.
Yeah. Okay. So y'all were really close.
So y'all are
close in age,
close
and
together.
close in.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you remember thinking about? I know things, generally hard, but what is something about your mama that you remember growing up? Like, what is your earliest memory of just your mom specifically?
Getting hosed off in the front yard, naked.
Yeah, probably.
Dare I ask why she was naked?
I mean, and that may be just from pictures, but I feel like I remember that running around with their Dobermans and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But why was she naked?
No, I was naked. She was hosing me off.
Oh,
like, why is she running around naked in Beth's yard? But it makes more sense now for you. You didn't tie it from there.
It's maybe a 2-year-old.
You remember that.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, there you go. That's funny.
Debbie liked fun, but not that much. But
No.
But then, sometimes I think I wouldn't disbelieve that. But okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disbelieve it. And what about
Debbie
your
was
mom?
always. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mom. Go.
I started to say Debbie was always doing silly stuff and joking around and making people believe something that wasn't going on. So one day we're all sitting around the table eating hot dogs, and she went out to mow the yard, and soon she stuck her head in the door and said, "I cut my toes off with the lawnmower," and everybody's just sitting around thinking, "Yeah, sure, Debbie." Nobody believed her. And Daniel walks over to the door, and he turns around and looks at everybody, and goes, "Yeah, she did." And so Grandma grabbed the towel and wrapped her foot, and Daniel picks her up like this and runs her, so we get her to the doctor. And so, yeah, she's got those funny little toes, but she actually did cut her toes off with the lawnmower, and nobody believed her.
Yeah.
There's blood, people. Yeah.
I tried to get her to tattoo toenails on them.
Really?
Do it?
She would do that.
I even tried to get her to let the ladies at the nail salon paint toenails on them. She wouldn't let me do that either.
That's funny. Do that. Yeah.
On her little nubs.
Yeah.
So, Mom, what do you remember about Debbie growing up? Besides not having any
Debbie
toes,
was the baby for about 8 years old. She lost them.
Yeah.
Well, she was the baby for 8 years, and she was named by one of the little ladies in the church, because she always wanted a daughter named Deborah Lane, and Mother let Ruby Cornelius name her baby. So Deborah Lane come from. It's not a family name. It was a name that Ruby Cornelius wanted to, if I can say her name. So yeah, okay, it is a compliment.
Well, I mean, she was 10 of 11 children.
Yeah, I was going to say they ran out of names.
Yes,
yeah, so we used to
number
there.
10. Yeah, somewhere along the way. So, but she was such a cute kid and just funny. Always. I just remember Deborah being a happy person, So she brought a lot of joy to our family. I remember since she was the baby, she was just adored and taken care of. everybody took care of Deborah, and she was just a fun-loving kid. And I always seen her. That's the eyes I see her in, even after the aneurysm. I mean, that was at Lowe's Call, and we were very incredibly thankful that the Lord really took care of her, because that was a big deal. Because she had 3. She didn't have one, because Deborah can't do it one at a time. She had 3 aneurysms. And so they life flighted her to Tyler, and they took care of her. So she is,
that was rough.
After the aneurysm, it was scary, to see.
I'm sure we'll get back to that. But when I remember about that, I remember my mom going up there after I left when she was fed to grandma or whatever, and I remember to being kind of all of her this during this whole time. And the very baby girl, she's from the car window, and she's in the wheelchair, she's on her for the mirror, and you're this. And I just wish I could remember at least. I remember laughing a lot. Like, she didn't remember after the fact. She didn't remember saying the things that she said. Within it. Yeah, it's just the things that were coming out of her mouth, or her talking back, because she's up a little bit better, or topping her stuff. And said, I don't like what you did. And then she'd have been murdering that, but I started her not even trying to make it like her. I don't think she was trying. She was just saying things that Deborah says.
Yep.
And they were just hilarious. Whatever it was, we just die laughing in the photo section. You just something that we're sure.
Yeah.
There's a book I'll get to that part of it, but so go ahead and ask, like, you can whatever you're comfortable talking about, let's say that, like, what are the things that you kind of remember about her, and it's sort of kind of asked to that specifically as a mother, the things that she did as a mother that, that you just like remember was she's about the conditions, or what were some of the things that it all really affected you? Good or bad, I guess it doesn't matter.
I don't really remember a lot of traditions because it was always hectic. I mean, I know she always took care of us, me and the boys.
I can ask for it at the end of the day.
Yeah. The one thing I guess, and this might sound bad, and I don't have, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of like good, I guess, to remember in a way, because I just what I feel I remember is just all the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was telling David the other day. Like, I really don't. Like, there's what I remember is not.
Do you mind? I mean, and feel free as it all this out. Feel free. And do you mind kind of say what does that mean after you say chaos? What is that?
All the fighting and the abuse and the alcohol and all of it. I don't. Yeah. And I think. Good. Go ahead.
And we don't have to do it. We don't have to.
No, I know, but like, what I remember most about her, like, yes, the good memories of my mom are from when I was way older, and it's not really tradition. It was just being with her, goofing off in the store, or like, she was my friend a lot whenever I was a teenager, a lot more than she was essentially my mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
so I did a lot of stupid things when I was young. And I'm glad that I got them. Huh?
Yes, we've all done stuff.
But, and she just, I don't know, I guess, really, man, it's so hard because, like, I want to remember back then, like, whenever I was little, but I don't. All I remember is very, very few good memories, and most of them are like a birthday party, or and I honestly, I don't feel like I remember that. I remember the pictures.
Yeah.
I remember some things, like I remember Uncle Johnny making, and like to hear y'all talk about y'all's mom and like what y'all remember when growing up, and I don't get that,
Yeah.
I don't. Man, I thought this was gonna be a lot less sad.
Oh,
No, but the
we
point
don't want
is,
to
to
say
Shelby,
it.
is that
Yeah.
looking at our life and looking at things, because we haven't talked about everything, and things were not, perfect. And no, we did not have to deal with, physical abuse. We didn't have to deal with alcoholism. And, we got a teetotaler over here that can't even have surgery because she can't handle anesthesia. Okay, that knocks her out for days. So we laugh about that with
And
her.
you're talking about who?
That'd be you.
Yeah, that'd be me.
But I think the part of this is us remembering and walking down and trying to understand and see life through the eyes of our mother, and making that pivot to where we don't repeat the bad stuff, and we really cling to what was good. And that's what we pass on to our children. There's things that I don't want to pass on, or that I am already in a state of huge regret, because I've already passed on some negative stuff to my girls. At
Oh gosh,
our age,
yeah.
I've already taken that crap and given it to them on a platter, and then we're trying to deal with it too, or deal with it again. But I think that's kind of the point, is really, it's hard to sit in your stuff, your bad stuff, and to just, it is what it is, and I think we're all really lucky that we came from the lineage that we did. Not everybody's perfect, and nobody was, without hard times and without sin and without whatever. But it's like, at what point do we change that,
Yeah.
for our kids? You've got two beautiful girls, and it's like, what do we repeat and what do we just let go of? What do we forgive and let go? Because you don't want to live in that,
No.
Have you ever
at
been
all.
generational curses for
Yeah.
your babies and for their babies to come, and how to do
Oh, yeah.
that? And because unfortunately, your mom was no longer with us.
Oh yes.
Did you and your mother, before she passed away and all became adults, did you ever have an opportunity to talk to her about any of the stuff from your childhood? Like, was there an opportunity to not hash out any, just like
Yeah.
have conversations about some of that stuff?
Not really. A couple of times. And I know, like, the few times that I did talk to her about it, she was just like, she's very apologetic for it. It wasn't never supposed to go that way, And I know that that's not what she wanted for us, It just, I don't know. I try to think back on good times, though.
Yes,
And
I think we have to.
I remember going out to the lake sometime. Yeah. But like the like listening to y'all, like what y'all remembered when y'all were really young, I feel like I didn't get more of that until I was a lot older. A lot older. Like, she was my rock. She was my rock. Once I got older, and I guess really after the aneurysm, where I guess everything kind of calmed down, and my parents weren't together anymore at that point. She busted her ass for me as best she could to try and make ends meet for us. And we lived with grandma after the aneurysm until I graduated high school. I mean, I was living with her when I got married.
Yeah.
Thank God today that she was there, so that, and at least for my first kid, I got to walk around the hospital with her. But my relationship with my mom really started, I guess, after her aneurysm, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah, no, we don't take it in that way, but it's when she was more present.
Yeah, and I think for me, a lot of it is, I just, like, all the other stuff just stands out so much more in my mind and in my memories than everything else did, but I really feel like the relationship that y'all have with your mom, or like the I don't know how to explain it, like the feeling of that for me in my head really started for me once I grew up, really, and I guess maybe because we all kind of forced has an aneurysm, it really changed her. She I don't know what I would have done without her. She was there for me for everything. I called her no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
And the
matter
other
what.
thing to that is also when you have your own children, you start, I think, appreciating mom more. Because I don't think I appreciated mom even till after, even Dwayne and I got married and had Cody. I don't think you start appreciating who your mom is and what she was and that role until you're older, till you have kids anyway. And then you start understanding your own self, what it means to keep people alive, what it takes to keep kids alive, just the basics, like just
Yeah.
doing the basics is extremely hard. I keep saying mine have no business being alive. Like, I really should have wiped them
It's a
out
miracle.
early.
It's a
I am
miracle.
not qualified to do this,
Yeah, y'all should
No.
really meet Lori now. She's
Yeah.
the wild one.
My
Oh,
goodness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we have all
Yeah.
decided that we have an appreciation for wild feral children. We would
Yeah.
much rather have sassy wild feral kids than shy ones that are going guessing. And we don't need those.
I don't take kindly to getting punched. That's my
She
kind
real
of wild.
feral.
She real feral. Right up here in the stick, man.
Yeah, well, let's. Okay, so
Yeah, but she was named.
and
She
your
was
mom.
named after mother, though, wasn't she? Your Lori. She was named after mom, wasn't she?
Yeah, but she ain't got her nice calm spirit.
She don't got
Maybe
her.
not yet. I'm gonna need Grandma to come on back and give her a little
Not
touch
yet.
of that sweetness.
Not yet. Yeah.
I take that back. Lori can be
Yeah.
the sweetest thing in the world. She really can be. She can be your pick me up. She is really, she can be, but she might also trick you and throw one at you. Okay, I'm telling you, my child she is a different form of human being. She's wild. Brandon always said he wanted to raise a Spartan. She's 4.
There you go. She's 4. Oh, she hasn't even gotten started yet. She's not
oh God,
hopeless.
Lord, help me, please.
Good. Yeah.
And then my oldest, she just
Dakota.
she's just me to the 10th degree.
Yeah.
Well, she's almost as tall as you. Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Well,
she got me beat.
Is she taller than you now? Wow. I
It's
saw
not
a
like
picture
you
the other
12 feet
day.
tall. You tiny.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
5'5".
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you very
you
much.
5'5".
Hey, she's right.
How tall are you?
5'3".
Okay.
On a good day in heels. I remember you being like this towering, inferno of height.
I'm not, but I'm taller than you.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
We can't share shoes anymore. She's already outgrown my feet size. Like,
oh, is that right?
yeah.
Wow, baby girl fast, huh?
She's 12. She's 12.
Let's
oh my
let's
goodness.
back up and let's talk about that. So when you found out that you were pregnant, when you're going to become a mom for the first time, talk to us about like those feelings, like kind of where you were at the time and where you were in your life at the time, and what that was. It a surprise? Was she planned?
No.
And what were you feeling at the time initially?
So I was, Brandon and I got married in 2010. I found out about Dakota the next summer. Almost a year later, exactly. I was just a couple months along. So I just turned 20, I think, when I had her, or like the year before.
Yeah.
Brandon and I lived in our first house, and we had been trying for a while. We probably tried for, I guess maybe like 6 months off, And I kept thinking I would get these crazy emotions and just kind of go loony every once in a while. And I kept thinking I was pregnant, And I took one and I was like, I know this one's not going to be it. I know it's not going to do it. It's not going to be blue. It's not going to have 2 lines. And it did. And I walked in, and I'm pretty sure, because I think me and Brandon were actually arguing when I took my pregnancy test. So I chunked it at him. Yeah.
Pieced it to the head.
He said, what does this mean? What does this mean? And I'm like, that's what it says. We're pregnant. It was funny because it just like the rest of it was we were so excited because we had already been trying. And so me, of course, immediately called my mom. I didn't wait for her. We made his parents wait a little while because we went out there and saw them in person, but I called my mom immediately. She was so excited. She was an old pro at this point because we already had Dylan and Tori and then Avery, me. They always say, your grandkid, you treat them better than your kids, and she did. She loved her grandkids. I don't know. Dakota and her were really close, super, super close.
Yeah.
Because she stayed with her a lot whenever she was younger. Mom kept her a lot, but no,
So
Mom was there.
What did the kids call her? What did the kids call her? Was she Grandma, Mimi?
They called her Mimi.
Mama? What was
Yeah,
her?
Mimi.
Mimi. Okay. Mimi. Okay.
Yeah. She ended up staying with me. She was there when I had Dakota. I had a rough labor. Both my pregnancies with my girls went great. But when I had Dakota, she was there right beside me, just holding the leg. But I had a really tough time with her. They started my induction, and me and Grandma walked the halls for a little while, which, this was really right before or during her when she got really sick. Or, but she walked around the halls with me, but it took a long time. I went in on a Thursday morning. I didn't get out. I didn't have her until Friday. My mom was there the whole time.
Yeah.
She stood right beside me, and when I kept telling her, because I was so weak by the time, I just could not anymore. I could not pull, I could not push. I was so tired. She lifted up my head and she said, "You got this, baby girl." There it went. I don't know.
Yeah.
She just gave me the strength to keep going in that moment. And I was just, her and Brandon both were standing there beside me, of course. And Brandon's trying not to see all the gore of childbirth, of course. But no, she was my rock. Like I said, more so when I was older, she was my everything. She always had my back. I always could call on her if I needed anything. Sometimes would come and use her pantry as my own grocery store, or her house as my own restaurant.
Yeah.
There you go.
She was a very good cook.
Yeah.
She was, wasn't she?
Yeah. Now I want some fried chicken.
Do you think your mom was easygoing? Because I always see Deborah as being just easygoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't make her mad. Yeah. No, she was, and that's she used to always tell me, "I don't know why you can't be more like me. You're so high strung like your dad." Sorry.
Don't apologize.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I just would tell her y'all baked this. This y'all's fault, not mine.
Don't say this. Yeah, that's what we always say about Cody, is that we made that mistake because Dwayne's lineage is Irish and we're Mexican. So you have a Irish and Mexican mix. That's not always the best if you're trying to create somebody who's got a cool head. That's not always the best
so
mix.
That's what's wrong with Dakota.
Yeah.
So, I forgot your dad. Yeah, he is. Yeah. Your last name is Soto. What's your last name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
Right.
Yeah, Soto.
Yeah.
Soto.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got that Hispanic fire, baby.
Oh yeah. And she's got it. Steve's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have that problem too. That's what I say about Cody. He's the most mild-mannered, calm. He's got a sweet spirit. He's good to me, just loving, caring until he's not. And then it goes from 0 to 10. And you got to talk somebody off being a whack job.
Yeah.
Because it just is that, just that laid back spirit.
No,
it's not.
Yeah.
Till it's not.
That was definitely my mom. She was usually pretty cool, calm, and collected. Never really. Yeah. I wish I could have had her laid back, because I almost stress her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too. I can worry something to death.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. I
I
keep
could
saying I
worry
wish
nothing at all to death.
yeah. Yeah, I keep saying I'm waiting for Annie to show up in me because I don't necessarily have that Annie spirit. I always have my other grandma, my grandma Connie, who's a little bit more high strung. That's more
Yeah,
my
a little
spirit. I do
spicy.
wish at times I
Yeah.
had that Annie spirit, but I do not.
No,
I do not.
Grandma used to always
Well,
tell me,
that
you don't even know
Annie
what
could
patience
be,
means.
yeah, and she was, but she could be a little spitfire sometimes too. So, was your mother the
Oh, no.
disciplinarian?
Oh, no.
Was your grandma a disciplinarian?
Oh, yeah.
Where was Andy in that picture?
Well, you know,
Yeah.
we either lived with grandma or we're always with grandma. Oh, well,
Yeah.
I guess, you know, most of the time, grandma was definitely she was the disciplinarian. Like I said earlier, it was either the switch or the lecture.
That's
You
right.
should definitely hear Doug talk about that. That's fun.
I would definitely take the switch
Oh.
over the lecture. I just want to get it over with.
That was like just an emotional torture. Like it's emotional waterboarding to be lectured by grandma because you feel so like you disappointed her.
Yes.
I don't want to be emotionally waterboarded by grandma. I just
no.
I'd rather be me.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she'd make you go find your own one too.
That's
She
a long
would.
ride.
Then she's got this finger thing going, right?
Mama
Mhm.
does.
Yeah.
Yep.
She could get that finger going.
Oh
So-
yeah.
What was that life? I said, I'm very jealous that you got that time. Just like, I'm very jealous that you got that time with grandma. But just what was that, like whenever you have, your mother, who's your mother, and they're living with grandma? I guess I'm going to ask you, what is the dynamic of something like that? Who had the final say? Because you've got a mother, you have a grandmother, Hanny, that are together. And then mother, you, and what does that dynamic even look like? Like, who had the final say? Who was actually in charge of that house? You got a weird mother dog dynamic, you know what I'm saying? Because at some point you're about to, she has a mom, but she's in charge, and what was that like growing up in a house like that?
I feel like grandma saved my butt a couple of times with mom. For sure. Because I remember my mama telling me vividly, you better be lucky your grandma saved your ass. Now,
Grandma could be good at that.
yeah, but grandma was also very much I feel like I remember grandma disciplinary a lot more when I got, as I was older, because whenever we lived with her after mom's aneurysms, I was a teenager, or preteen teenager. I was a brat. I had an attitude. Just I'm paying for it like 1,000-fold. Like it's not even that little girl is me made over. It's really fun to discipline the you out of your child. It's almost impossible. Matter of fact, it is. We found that to be very true. Me and Brandon both, because she has my attitude and his anger, and so that's a great mixture. Yeah, that's fun. But no, I remember grandma saving my butt a couple of times, but I think grandma more in not necessarily the respect way, but she wouldn't let me get sassy with her.
Yeah.
Did Deborah let you get sassy with her?
My mom wasn't as strict as my grandma was.
Yeah.
She wasn't as strict. I could goof off with mom, like I said, she was more of a friend in that stage, kind of. So I could goof off with her, or talk, I guess, a little bit of smack. I guess you could say that, just kind of give her a little pushback. And grandma would never let that slide, of course.
These are the
grandma had a lot of practice. Grandma had a lot of practice in that. So you was not her
from
first
a mother,
rodeo. So
from a mothering standpoint, like when you had Dakota and there was a big chunk, eventually Dakota and Lori, obviously. But what do you feel like as a mother? You pop from your mother, came up, we get you right into parenting. the girls, and then the same thing like with grandma. I think you guys both very strong in different ways, females in your life for a big chunk of it. What do you feel like are there kind of guaranteed that girls are like, I sound like my mother, or whatever?
I guess I more so say that a lot about my mom. Like I said, grandma she was very, she could get you with her words a lot of the times, but for her, to me, it was the look. She had this look when she was mad at you or disappointed or something, and sometimes you just knew, you better shut your mouth. I tried that with my girls. It doesn't work. I don't have that look, or they ain't scared of the look. But I feel like I definitely sound like my mom every day, all day, especially yelling at me and the boys, or really just the boys, because they were always fighting or wrestling or something, because they were always so close together,
Yeah.
Sorry, there's screaming in the background. But she would always try to do the 1, 2, 3 rule, She told you once, told you twice. I guess I definitely get that. I try to do that with Dakota, but my kids don't seem to listen until there's horns in my head spinning around, because I've asked them 52 times to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I guess really that was Mom.
Yeah.
She really didn't want to get mad at you if you just get up and do what she wanted you to do. It'd be all right.
Well, it's every mom. Did you just listen the first time?
I remember one time she got me because I was being, and I don't even remember what I said to her, but we were sitting in the kitchen, and I said something to her, and she put me on the floor. She slapped me across my face, and I wish for the life of me I could remember what I said, because it was just like the statement that I made. I don't believe I ever said that to her again. It must have, totally went out of my brain,
Yeah.
I remember that.
His ass right out of you.
Well, just so you know, that's hereditary, because I was getting out of the car one time with Sylvia, and I was fastening something, and I went to, it was one of the ones where you just had 2 doors, so the seat went forward and you had to step out. So she stepped out, and I think as she stepped out, I popped that seat forward, and as I stuck my leg up and stood out, she hit me so hard, hit me like that, and you're just standing there.
Yeah.
She'll even
See, I don't even remember that at
I
all.
I don't think I pushed that seat again ever.
Yeah.
Really?
Goodness.
But, and like I said, back then you think, well, the little memories. Did I do that? Did I do that? Did the Lord and I do that? Yeah, you both did it.
Jesus do that?
Did you deserve it?
Yes, I did. That's what I said. I did that, the chicken, and everything else. Everything I got.
Then that means it was justifiable.
Yup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it was justifiable.
Well,
that was.
Yeah, that's probably going to come back to me
100% probably deserved that one.
and haunt me. Yeah. Wow.
That's fun.
Wow.
So, what are some of the attributes that you remember about Grandma? Specifically, we've been talking a lot about, Grandma with everybody, because we're just so we're talking to all the cousins and all the whatever. We actually had a really good perspective from Misha, which was just really funny, talking about her perspective of our family. And Grandma, she said she remembers that she come into our family and we're huggers, we're touchers, we're like, she said she didn't grow up like that. Like, and I never thought about that, because because we are, and we're hugging you and we're kissing you.
And somebody said, "Come here, honey, we're huggers in this family."
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's how we grew up in this. Whatever, that you don't think about people who marry in and then are now stuck in our freak show. So what are some of the things that you remember about, and I think our greatest blessing is growing up in this big family. So what is your perspective on being part of this family, and what Grandma created, and something that, what do you remember most about that, or love or dislike about it? Maybe you don't like it.
Yeah, it's okay.
No. I hate that we don't ever get together anymore. It's very seldom, here or there. And I remember when Grandma was still here, y'all. Like, either we were all down there or y'all were
Yeah.
all up here. You
Yeah.
know, I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss the togetherness, and I that's what I want. And that's one thing with Brandon's family is that they're like that too. That us to
Yeah.
always be together.
Yeah.
I really miss that. I wish that, and I'm like Avery, you know, David's daughter. He's
Yeah.
up here now, and so he gets to have that with her. You know, Dakota does.
Yeah.
Gets to spend time with her cousins, and Brandon's brother. He's got 3 girls, and you know, that's one thing that I love the most, and I guess that I brought up, or that I always wanted to keep alive in my family is
Yeah.
his cousins, no matter how far down the line they were. You know, and I have people here in Winsboro that are, I couldn't even tell you how I'm related to them, but they were at our family reunions over there in Coke. I know they're somehow related.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I just, yeah, I love our big family. I think our big family is one of a kind. It's I don't know. I love the way we grew up in that aspect with grandma and all that, despite what my immediate family's life was, you know. But
Yeah.
and that I guess, you know, in a way, that really is a lot of my good childhood memories would be with everybody, you know, being at Aunt Bess and Uncle Richard's and down at Shirley and what's it, Robert's? Uncle
Yep.
Robert.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, what's his name?
confused.
Yes,
We all
We
confused
went-
all the
That's
time.
its own
then,
episode, girl. We're
yes,
gonna talk about that later.
Yeah.
we haven't seen it in a long time. So, you know, and I just all the family reunions, and I remember Christmas at Sylvia's house. That's one thing that I hope that I keep in my family is we're always gonna find a way to get together. And I know we still do when we can, and it's sometimes very seldom, but I miss that. I miss that a lot.
Yeah, that's what I said. Every time I get a chance
I miss
to
that
see,
too.
like if I can get within miles of Jerry and Misha, you know, I'm texting and going, you know, we were at the rodeo. I think we were at the rodeo this year, and I saw them post that they were there, and I immediately started texting them, and I shared my location with Jerry so we could find each other at the rodeo thing. And it's funny because he shared his location with me, and now every time I look like on my kids to check and see where my kids are, or if I'm looking where Lydia's at or mom and dad, I can see Jerry's either at work or at home, so I know where he's at all the time. Because we both are still sharing our location. So
That's funny.
I don't have it with you know, I don't have it with one of my kids. Mariah doesn't share her location, but I have Jerry's, so I know where he's at all the time.
That's funny.
You know, it's important to
His
me now.
family.
Now that I know where's Jerry.
His family.
Yes.
Yeah. And I would honestly share my location with all y'all too if you want to. We can share it. It's just some ways to keep up with everybody and see where everybody's at. It's very comforting to know that Jerry's at work.
Yes.
Is he back at work? Because this is way off subject, but he is back at work.
I don't know. I didn't realize he wasn't off work, but
I thought they were doing some kind of something with the plant or something. Some kind of.
I don't know.
Well, that was
honestly
a year.
haven't looked in a week or so. So
Like that was like a year ago when me and Nikki were down there. He came and hung out with us on the beach for a while, and then we went over to his house and hung out.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Anytime we can get it within a mile of each other, I'm trying to, you know, if I hear somebody's here, somebody's there, I want to go. I want to go. I have FOMO real bad when people get together and we don't know.
You know, totally. During time, my sister is vying to like stuff his with Jerry and Misha, and I see it on Facebook. But I stayed at it talking about FOMO. I was like, where was my patient? I do live around the corner.
Yeah.
And they do that without
right down the
us.
corner.
Right on the corner, and they do that without me.
How rude.
It's not like we ever did the chat out of things on her best, just to be mean.
That's not nice.
That kind of thing.
It'll be nice to
I don't leave Chad out of anything.
We love Chad.
He's a couple of times. I love Chad.
He Snapchats me every once in a while, and it's always of the cows that he's feeding.
Yeah.
The other day I got a close to one going with its long tongues.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think Dwayne and Chad were talking about cows the other day, and Wally chimed in and said, "What are y'all comparing girlfriends?"
We have our business. Both our cousins.
And you value those relationships so much, and it really is part of it is one of my more happy memories. It's just not even doing anything. I don't think we were doing anything, just together.
Yeah.
Together. That family reunion we had down on the lake was just, I mean, I don't know, it was perfection. It was
Yes.
just the last
a
time
year
I looked
after
at it, it was the last
That was a
time.
year after you all died.
Yeah.
It was the next summer.
Yeah,
July
is that the one where it was
08.
Mother's 79th birthday or Mother's birthday? We were down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody was up here
Yeah.
for
And all
Mother's
her
birthday
sisters.
that year.
Yeah,
and
and
all her sisters were
there.
here and all that
Yeah.
and all that. So
That was the last big reunion I even had. So that was in last Trinity, 50 years ago.
yeah.
And so many
Yes.
years of play that. I did the
Listen.
last two.
I'm not the one. I promise. I'm not the one. There will be everything will be missing. I have high functioning ADHD, but I have what's it called? PRF. Can't remember shit. Okay. Everybody
Just
around me
gets me-
knows it. They don't ask me to remind them about nothing.
Don't leave the
Okay.
reunion
Yes.
forget to show up, kind of thing.
Oh my
Whatever.
gosh.
Literally, that would be it. That would be it. That would be
She
me.
planned
Promise.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing it.
CRS. Oh,
I'll try
God.
to help if I can, but no, you don't want me to plan it. Or I'll actually book it for like Hawaii or something. Not here, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it
wanna do
could
that.
be if you cousins have to do it because all the aunts are old as get out, and we all have CRS. I'm telling you right now. So I kid you not. And
old
we
lady
surely can't
CRS,
have
which is
Shirley in
worse.
charge. So
Goodness.
anyway, but you're right, baby. We do need a family time together, don't we? Because the best time was when we were together, like, with all the girls, and you and your girls come over, and we were just together, which
Oh yeah.
Do you
was a
think,
nice time.
you said it, yeah. Do you think that the childhood that he had, as hard as it was, and as challenging as it was, and all that, do you think that is somehow into stalker? Or do you feel like, nah, I'm good?
I think it gave me a lot of problems. No.
A lot of trauma.
Yeah,
If we didn't have trauma,
exactly.
it would be funny.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Because you're funny. You're like your mom. You have a big personalities, and you
Yes.
make fun of yourself and other members of the time, while slapping and jumping on the ground. All the cool groups.
Mhm. Yeah, it was a fun time. Yeah. Yeah, no, I try to be. I like to make people laugh, I guess, because I'm not good with confrontation,
Mhm.
and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
You think as in solidarity that you're childhood?
I don't know, maybe it could be, but I guess maybe because it was always like confrontational. I guess
Yeah.
very, very, very high stress, all the time. It seemed like what I can remember. But yeah, no, I definitely I like to be funny. If
Yeah.
I can make you smile, that's good. My kids don't think I'm funny anymore though.
They just
And
don't know.
then you're like, Mom.
Yeah, one of my funniest memories of my mom is always walking through like the stores or like the seasonal aisle,
Uh-huh.
during Valentine's or Christmas or whatever. We have to figure out what all the little dancing figurines do. And then eventually they're all on down the aisle.
Yeah.
That was, or I'm like not in the mood for it, and we're in the dollar store, and there's like a whole wall of them, and she'll just press all of them at one time, every time.
She can't help herself.
Yeah, and guess what? I do that to
Yeah,
my child
yeah.
now too. My child also asks me if we're in the car and I'm talking to myself. She's like, "Mom, why are you talking to yourself?" And I'm like, "Shut, Dakota." I used to tell my mom that all the time. I'm having a conference in my brain.
Did you
We're
ever
making
do that?
decisions here.
Yeah. I used to talk to her all the time in the car. She'd be over there, sometimes she'd be getting her hands a-going.
Who is she
she
arguing
would-
with?
There's no telling. I wouldn't,
That's amazing.
Anybody, whoever she has, beef with at the time. But
So,
yeah.
And see, I usually talk to myself because I like talking to somebody who's always right. I need an expert opinion, so I'll just ask myself.
That turns out I was right. People say. Oh, I tell people that too. Sorry, I had to have the expert advice.
Yep, so I ask myself.
Yep.
I don't want to talk to somebody who's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
No way.
Why would I?
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, what is if you when you're thinking about your mom and we fast forwarded kind of to where you've had your girls? Did she got to meet Lori, right?
Oh
No.
yeah.
Yeah, she was here with Lori.
Yeah, she
I
kept
can't
Lori too.
Yeah. So she was able to be with both of them. What are your most precious memories seeing her with your girls? Is that something that do you remember, just, I don't want to say, she was obviously a good Mimi because she was close to Dakota.
Oh yeah.
Do you find peace in seeing her with your girls and how
Absolutely.
she was even if you didn't get it as a kid, do you find peace in seeing that relationship with Dakota and Lori and your mom?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you
and
remember
even
most about that time?
I feel like for a while, especially before, Dakota went to school and because, Trish, Brandon's mom, she watched Dakota some too. But just like I found a picture the other day of Dakota here, I don't know, have y'all ever been to mom's house, mom and dad's house?
Mm-mm. No,
In Mount Vernon?
Mm-mm.
There's a railroad track right behind it. When Dakota was little, her mom would go walking down the railroad track.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a picture of Dakota hanging off of something, right beside it. And, I know mom took it. So one of the, and just because this is how I found the picture, we're talking about moms and technology. I'd gotten a new iPhone and I gave her mine I'd gotten a new phone. I think I switched back to Android. And so I just gave her mine. It had my iCloud on it still.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had it for like a good year and a half, probably. And so all those pictures that she took, I have. They're on my iClouds. And so there's a bunch of pictures of like her and Dakota laying down because this was, back when Dakota was little. Just all those pictures of that, of me that I didn't know she had, of pictures of all the other, and she was a good Facebook thief. She would go and steal pictures off of everybody's Facebook so she could have pictures of it. And, it's like that. And I love that I found that the other day because it really, I don't know, it gave me a big smile because I miss my mom. Like I said, she was my rock, and I think I'm not saying it's getting easier. Because I don't think that it ever gets easier. You just kind of learn to live with that void, especially when it's your mom. But every time, and I posted something on Facebook, I really have felt a pull to the skies lately. Just really paying attention to sunrises and sunsets, and rays pop into the clouds, and I really feel like that is just her saying to chill, because she used to always tell me, calm down, like, you stress about things that you shouldn't even, like, there's no reason to stress. She would always pound that into me just because she never did. She always knew in the end it would work out, one way or another, and me, I'm the complete opposite of that. I am the worst case scenario type of person, and I play it through my head over and over again until that doesn't happen,
You play it out in your head and you know exactly how it's going to end. And
yes. I am a huge
And
stressor.
usually it doesn't.
Yeah. So I've really been looking to the skies a lot lately for her because and I really feel this, like, I don't know, it might sound silly, but I just really feel like this calming thing that comes over me, and I'm just like, all right, I'm trying to chill, lady. Like, I get ya, I hear ya. Like, I really am trying to channel my inner mom, I guess, my mama. Because I do. I'm a big stressor, and she really never had that. She was always outside of her being mad at me or the boys, for being who we were back when we were kids. She was always pretty chill. She never was, grumpy. She was always, that's kind of where her and my dad were complete opposites, because he was always really high strung and she was really laid back.
So with your own girls, when you think about, life with your mom, and you think about, I know you said you want to pass on family, but what are some other lessons that you want your girls to know about the women in their family? So what are you teaching them, or what do you want to teach them about who your mom was, who your grandma was, and what their lineage is as women and part of the family? Because it's like our girls aren't getting to grow up like we grew up, with all of our cousins and things like that. What do you want them to know about their grandmother and their great grandmother? What do you want to pass on to them?
Their strength, both of them. I never knew. I don't know how to say it. Not necessarily that. I guess really, I never knew how. Never really understood. Of course, motherhood until I had kids. It really gave a lot of reasoning as to why mom and grandma did the things that they did, and the really their strength to push forward through everything that they went through, especially my mom, and all the, especially, the aneurysm and stuff. Grandma, I don't know, I guess because I never knew Pawpaw. He died that year I was born. And I just think of her, and not that she was alone, but my whole life, I was in my 20s when she passed away, and she would never, I don't know, I guess she was just always surrounded by all of her kids and her family. She was out in that garden until she was 88, or not 88.
Yeah.
Well, the year right before she passed away, out there in
which was 80.
Leesburg.
She passed away at 82, so she was 80.
Yeah,
that's not
she
young.
was 89.
Yeah,
not 88.
And I was like, did she hate to be 88?
Yeah.
no, I think she's 82.
Close, yeah.
I wish that my kids could hear Grandma's stories. I wish they could have a few of her lectures.
Yes.
I desperately wish that they could have a few of her lectures.
We all need her lectures,
Probably needs a lecture herself.
Yeah.
Her wisdom,
Yes.
I wish that I had her relationship with God. She was always, so close. She was always, when I talk about Grandma, I always like to tell the story of her casket.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Girl,
tell it.
I can't talk about that.
You lived it. I visited it.
I did.
Tell it.
I had to live there.
Yeah. God, I guess it had been a year before she passed away. When she, I guess really got sick. She did not want anybody to have to deal with it. She wanted to have it all figured out, when the time came. And that woman was ready to meet her maker.
She did.
She was 100% ready to meet her maker. So she went in, or got her casket made. It was a cedar plank casket.
It's cool.
Yeah, it was. It had beautiful metal cutouts on it that said Miss Amy's going upstairs. Yeah. She sure did. And she designed it. That headgum casket sat in her bathroom for a year before she passed away.
Okay, so were y'all living there with them? Were you living there with her?
Me and Brandon weren't living there yet.
Okay.
Because we moved in after, we moved in out there after Grandma had passed away, because it was just her mom and Shirley, and or no, I think Shirley Shirley had been there, and we were gonna help them out because they're both on Social Security and stuff. So we moved in after Grandma passed away.
But the dang casket was
she
there.
was sitting straight up in that bathtub.
Yeah,
and then I was with her. Shelby, were you with us when we went to look at the caskets, and she picked out the wood and she picked out the pattern? Were you with us? Because we were.
No,
I forget who. I'm sure Debbie was with us. I'm sure Debbie.
I probably was.
Yeah,
probably
at that wood shop, and she went in there, and picked her casket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lady that went to their church or something that built those. And she
Yeah, she was
we all
was
went to the
actually
casket place.
yes. And the casket place is actually their house. It's
Yes.
also yeah. She's actually a Dutch lady that me and Dad went to church with in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she was really, 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 really sweet lady. And I don't know if y'all remember, but that's also where we got Dad's casket.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
that's special, huh?
Yeah.
Well, she wanted me.
It
She said,
is.
Sylvia, can I store my casket in the top of your barn? And I said, no, mother. I can't have your casket in the top of my barn. So she stood it in her bathroom. It was like,
I remember being out there having to go to the bathroom and you're sitting on the commode and there's that casket just sitting out straight.
You gotta walk past it to
yes,
get to the
it was
toilet.
still it was still in the box.
Warming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yes, it
a
was still in the
casket in a
box.
bathtub.
But you do. Yes. And Beth would not go in that bathroom. She would
Oh,
not.
Oh, I
goodness.
only went once. I went in there and come out and looked like, what the hell is that? And Mom said, that's your casket. I was like, I'm being outside. I'm not doing that.
Being outside. Yeah.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
Oh, that was
I
funny.
it
mean,
was.
I get it that, and she genuinely was a planner and a preparer.
She was.
Because I don't know if you know this, but we got, I don't know, Mom just had a bunch, I can't remember why we were sorting through this stuff but it was just a bunch of her old, well, it was everybody's pictures. So what Mom and I did was take buckets that Grandma had, sorted them by kid, and then passed them on to that kid. So like if there was pictures of us, they went to Mom. It was you, which your mom.
Yeah.
So we had marked out all these folders and we were sorting through it. And I kid you not, we found records that she had maintained or took and this explains a lot of like, well, I mean, for us, because I'm usually really detail oriented and know keep records of things that you don't need to keep records of for no reason other than just I need to write something down. But she had a record of a trip her and Grandma took, and I mean down to the mileage, the time they
Yes.
left, the time they got
Yes.
there, the mileage
Wow.
they spent. She had gas receipts still, like receipts from actual stops. We ate here, ate at this restaurant, we spent this, Clyde had this, blah, blah, blah. Like it was just this itinerary at this trip. And then we found Loretta's wedding. Was it
To her
Loretta's
first
wedding?
husband. Yes,
to her
Loretta's
first
wedding to
husband.
Donald. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was wedding planning. I mean, down to the fine details of the dress, the measurements, the the
Oh,
plan,
wow.
the list, the whatever. She just had the most ridiculously insane details.
Yes.
That still they were just all
I can believe that. I can believe that because I can remember her and her bill, the way she would keep records of a bill. She
to
had
the penny. Yes.
yes, then the boxes in the closet of prior years, but she would keep all of her 1 year worth of bills. She'd start over every January. It'd be perfectly in a line. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. And then what was it we were reading? It was something. I know she had a journal. It was about some things that we did when we were there. About a trip we walked down to the creek behind Loretta and Johnny's house. And she had notes about that. And then she had notes about, it was something about Catherine. And something Catherine
she made
ate.
Catherine spaghetti.
Yeah. On this date, at this time. Was it you that Dorcas, that you text? You were talking about that on Facebook or something. You told Catherine.
Yeah, I
and
think I
know
told
when you
Catherine
eat
I know what
spaghetti.
she ate like March 7th, 1982 because Grandma wrote it down.
Yes.
You ate spaghetti.
Grandma wrote it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had
I
made
can believe
spaghetti.
it.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get that well of a organizational spirit, I guess.
I didn't either.
For Mom, but she's good. But she
Neither did my
had,
mom.
yeah. No, it skipped a generation, did it?
Yeah.
Because she had just piles and piles of every Bible study she ever did, every book she studied, every sermon that every preacher ever preached. She had notes, just piles and piles and piles. Looking at it, And I thought, how am I going to keep all this? And then I just thought, I got the Bible. I'm good. I'll go make my own notes. I'll go read that.
So
I'll get it for
yeah,
myself. Now, I kept a lot of it, and Lynn kept a lot of it. But yes, she was well organized, so.
can we go as far as OCD? Because I remember getting in trouble for moving
Yes,
stuff.
baby, you
Or
can.
like,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
You know, you yourself,
Yes.
girl. Go ahead.
Yeah. I have one of her Bibles that my mom used to
Yes.
carry.
Yes. Yeah.
She is beaten and tattered. She needs to be redone, but that is probably one of my most prized possessions right now.
Yes, it is, baby.
Because
It
I
truly is.
feel that is her and grandma both, because there's notes in there from where grandma took notes and stuff like that too. So I have that, and I have grandma's cast iron skillet. So
You're set, man.
Well,
yeah,
Lynn's got the
Winter's
griddle.
excuse for not
Okay.
making that.
Just if anybody's
Fried
wondering,
chicken?
where'd that griddle go? Marietta's got it. And
no,
also,
no,
yeah.
no, I have
Or
some of her
See,
lanterns.
and Lynn.
The
Oh,
lanterns
you
are
have her
good.
lanterns. Okay.
I have 2
Aw.
of them.
yeah.
Those are
Isn't it
good.
funny what's
Well, that's
important,
nice.
in the grand scheme of things? It's like, I mean, I would literally fight you for her Bible. If we could cage match, I'd cage match you for that Bible. You know what I mean? But it's like those are the things that are the most important when they're gone. Anything with her handwriting, anything, at any point in your day, you could probably open that Bible and be immediately spoken to, or have whatever hurt you're feeling healed in an instant, because there's just so much wisdom in that, and so much of her wrapped up in that. I have a Bible that's sitting on that bookshelf that's one of Dad's. That's the same thing. Like, it's just, I just know it's there. I don't look at it very often, but you could at any time open it and immediately just be like, oh, there it is. There it is. That
I have
core.
Grandpa's Bible. I have Clyde's Bible, or one of Clyde's Bibles.
Yeah, you have one of Daddy's Bibles. Well, Dorothy, Starling, I have one of Mother's Bible if you want it. I did not know you wanted it, darling.
Okay. She saved me, girl. She saved me.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
see, the one that I had,
I've got several of Mother's Bibles.
Yeah, the one that I had was it.
What is it?
It was grandma's, but my mom carried it for a while.
Yeah.
For years actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was. I mean, if you want to roll around in the dirt, Dorcas, we can.
She'll fight you for it.
No, I'll just take one from Mom. She's an easier target. You got that East Texas sass that might kick my butt.
Here. And then the girls will jump in. Lori, will jump in with her. She's got my side, and
we call Lori the Sandy off the cruise. We'll just release the baby.
Oh, that's funny. I'll just take one from Mom. Save us that embarrassment. Save yourself that embarrassment.
So is Lori like Lydia's? Yeah. So is Lori like Lydia's little one? You're not doing a college fund for her. It's just bail money, a bail bond field.
Cherry always says about our little one that she's going to be a leader. It's either going to be a prison gang leader or a CEO. We're not sure yet.
Hardcore.
Yes,
we're
not
not
sure
yet.
yet. Yeah, but she's not getting a college fund. She's getting a bail money.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
No, so couple it'd be here. Well, a little over a year ago, Brennan was home a lot. He's out of a job, and he got to stay home with Lori a lot, which he's thankful for that, because with Dakota he didn't get that.
Yeah.
Because he was her 2-year, she was about to turn 2 when he went out in Soulfeld, and that he was out doing that until she was close to 10 years old.
Yeah.
He missed her second birthday, actually. But anyways, so Brennan got to spend a lot of time with Lori. And he always said he was going to raise a Spartan. And he had partially succeeded. Okay? This kid is no holds bar. Like I said earlier, she could be sweet and loving and kissing you on the cheek and kissing your whole face like her Mimi used to do. But she could also throw in a jab if she wanted to, just for fun.
Just
No
to keep you in
reasoning.
check.
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
you. Hey.
Exactly. I've heard it. That exact thing. I love you. Wow. Yeah, she's a wild one for sure.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That little
So
one.
I guess in thinking about just, start thinking about wrapping up. We've been asking everybody kind of this one question of, as you're still just such a young mom and you've got such a long way to go with your girls and so many life lessons still to come, because if she's 12, you're going into teenagers. So,
Yep.
we pray for you.
Thank you.
But what is it that you want your legacy to be for your girls? Like when they think about you and they think about where you're from and what you grew up with and who you are today, what do you want your legacy to be?
Strength. I want them to see that I persevered through everything. We may not have the nicest of things around here, but I'm, like you said, generational curses. Like I believe in that. I
Yeah.
really do. And
Mhm.
I want I saw something on some page I was following, for I don't know, something, and it said it ran in your family until it ran into you.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
I want to be the brick wall that it hits. I don't want to
Yeah.
budge. I want it to be I want it to be over.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody, I really, like I said, my mom's strength, still thinking back on it and everything that she went through is one of the big staples in my life. I strive to be as strong as she was.
Yeah. And you can do that. And you don't have to go through what she went through. You don't have to put your girls through what she went through to get that. Your strength can be the same strength, but holding up good, pushing good, and setting a different life for your kids than what you have. And I think we all want that. We all, like I said, I'm late to the game in thinking about this stuff. I wish I thought about it sooner. So the fact that you're thinking about it while your girls are small is a good thing,
Yeah.
and it is. And nobody, like I said, nobody's life is perfect, and nobody, has anything ideal. It may look ideal, but it isn't. But the most important thing is passing on the good to them and teaching them to channel their inner Annie.
Yes.
It's hard because, like, for me, it's not natural. It doesn't feel natural to be calm and sweet and whatever. I have to work at it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yes. And that's I guess I try to be funny and all that, but I sometimes, and I guess a lot at home, I can be real quick to anger sometimes, I guess, because it's my comfort zone. And I don't want to be the angry mom. I don't want my kids to remember me that way. I don't want. They do definitely make my head. I don't want to be that angry mom. Like I said, they do definitely make my head spin and steam pour out my ears.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like my mom was like an angry mom. She definitely let you know when she meant business, but she wasn't really an angry mom. And I really don't. I hope that my kids can see that, and I'm not. I feel like sometimes they think I'm a bully, but
Yeah.
I only asked you 52 times to take notes of its toys, or
Yeah. And I think there's a difference between, when you lose your temper occasionally and being just bitter in life. And I don't think that's a lineage that you have. It's just being bitter, and I don't think that's what grandma ever had. I think that's one of the things that we really got from them, is that not that bitterness. We can be crazy and feisty.
Yep.
But I don't think any of us are bitter. Like, I don't, trying to think about any of our cousins or anybody who just lives in a bitter, angry place, that I think that's part of our lineage that we can celebrate.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
pass on to our kids that, yeah, we're crazy. Yeah, we yell, but we're not mad at you for long term.
No.
Or we're not mad about it for a long time. It's not going to come in and, live in our spirit, that spirit of bitterness and whatever. I think that's something we've been able to avoid, and passing that on is A-okay, man.
And it's not such Shelby without, start speaking out of turn by any means. Like you would never want to do that. It really feels like me made comments like, having trouble remembering the good times when you were little. It really feels like you were doing whatever you need to do to make sure that that isn't your baby's stories.
Yeah.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I love that for you. I love that I don't think that that's going to be their story.
Yeah.
And so I just think I would hurt by any means
No, you're good.
that they're going to look back on you. Like if we ask them this, 15 years from now, they're not going to have that. They're not going to say, we don't remember any good times. And I hate that for you. It makes me sad for you. I want you to remember those things. But I love that you have relationship. I love that you have a relationship with your mother when you're a little bit older, that you get that and all that, because, remind me, when did she get gone? Your mom?
March 15th was 2 years.
2 years.
March 15th. Loretta and I were trying to remember exactly the date, March 15th, 2 years ago. Well, the memories that I remember of Deborah is that every morning Daniel does a little prayer time and Bible promise time every morning.
Yeah.
Kind of like a little devotion. And Debbie listened to it every morning. And if he was late, he'd get one word from her. Hey. So hey, where's my Bible study today?
Where you at?
So hey. She was a woman of faith. She absolutely was a woman of faith, and that's just something that Grandma has passed down to each of us, is what it means to be a woman of faith seeking the Lord too. So Demi and I just loved every morning knowing that we were visiting with Deborah, that she was was there online with us. So it was a little community, but if you wasn't there, it was like, hey, so
You're late.
where you at? What you doing? So
I think I told this story on my episode or somewhere along the way that, like, I used to on our way over work, I would call Grandma like once or twice a week on my way home from work. Need moms and sitting there. It's just one girl. After all had her first stroke, so before the 8 years of night for her first stroke, I would call and Gabby would all leaving the phone or whatever, and having her was getting a little bit more forgetful. They called it. She wasn't remembering a lot of people and whatever. And she'd get on the phone and she'd remember me loud. She knew that all of a sudden Deborah would get back on the phone and be like, I live here and I'm taking care of her. It is not me. Like, well, never she let me. And so we go on and they fun of it, and she's like, call us a names, because that's what you do, and whatever, and we may have it, and she's like, really? Really? She knows who you are? I'm like, she loves me there for what should you take? So she knows that a good for being about it. Makes me feel better that girl over me.
Yeah.
So not just to make you a little bit better, it's fine. You're there.
And I think my all-time favorite story is after she had the aneurysm, was in the hospital and everybody went there. And was it Mac that came in the room and said something to her, and she flipped him off? Like, she just reached up and flipped him off, and he just went, "Oh, she's fine." And walked out. Like, she was fine. I think that really just says the is a good snapshot of who we are as a family.
Yeah.
We'll all be there, but when we're all there, you might get flipped off. I think that is it was a good snapshot of the rally and that their sisters and brothers would do and to take care of one another and be there for one another. But we're still gonna laugh it off a little bit. So
but Shelby,
I think you
had a strength and a survival, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you are probably a really good representation of your mom and are doing a fantastic job for your girls, And
I hope so.
Yeah, I bet if I had to bet,
You are, baby. You are.
And the other thing
Somebody's
is,
on you, Shelby.
yeah, somebody's on you in your 3-syllable word. And if you need to rent a mom, we got one you can borrow. So if you need to, if you
Call
need
it
to talk,
Shelby. You know,
There
so,
you go, baby.
Shelby, thank you for. I know this is hard to talk about at times, but I think, I know for me, I'll really be praying for you to just have those good memories and have good things pop up, that when you are looking at the sky and when you are seeing things, you're going to start healing that hurt and allowing good memories to replace the bad ones, even if it's just seeing it with your girls, just able to fill those in. Because you had such a good mom.
Yes,
such
I've
an incredibly good mom.
yeah.
I really did.
And she
Sorry, I got so,
absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say sorry. I got so sad there at the beginning.
No, it's perfectly fine and perfectly understandable. Because it makes me sad. Especially for us. And I'll just say this, for us being on the outside and what you don't know growing up, we've learned so much just talking, to other, because we've talked to my aunts on my dad's side and, just learned all these stories about things that we don't know that people dealt with. And to hear, understanding what you guys, we obviously, knew things were going on, but knew things were difficult with dad and things like that. And it is, it's hard to hear that you guys went through that, because y'all are fantastic kids and you and your brothers are so good. And, just, I think everybody just deserves to have,
which
a really
in itself is a
fantastic
testimony to your
life.
mother.
Yeah, it is.
Because you
Just both your
are. You
brothers
have to
are
give that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
You
So-
could easily choose to live there. You could easily choose to live in that place and the memories and let that be your story. You could let that happen. But I think that a sign of maturity and emotional intelligence and growing and dealing with our crap is learning to cut it to, like Gorga said, you look at that situation, you can choose to move past it and floss that generational curse so that that's not going to be our story anymore.
Yeah.
And learning to forgive too, I think. I mean, I wouldn't, again, I don't want to assume anything about like that, but learning to forgive those situations and realize that, whatever cross, like, all that have, you need to live in that anger. Yeah. Or you can go, you know what, we're going to forgive for ourselves and use it. That would be any situation. We can go and forgive. I think that you did that. I think like it's hardly a blow is, that you've his mother, that it's all going to be okay at the end of the day. Yes.
Yeah, but don't you
Just-
think your mother was a great example of that? At
Yes.
forgiving and letting go. And what I remember is
Absolutely.
that it was after the aneurysm that when she finally divorced your dad, it was after the aneurysm that they actually divorced, right? So she come out of that and said, I think she was like, okay, it's over. That's done. And I think that was with that came a I don't know, a calmness or a forgiveness or a moving on to the next phase of her life. Is that what you
I guess it
saw?
could have been, maybe.
Yeah.
When she wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my dad, though. I don't know if y'all know that
Absolutely.
story, but
Yeah, yes, we do know
But
that. And
she-
every person in this family knows that, I promise you. And have told James,
yeah.
thank you.
That's my memory, women.
Yeah.
When Mom had her
That
aneurysm,
James was with her
Dad,
when
he had literally
the
just got
aneurysm
out of
happened.
prison.
He just happened to be, yeah, it was a miracle of God that he was there with her when it happened, and he moved quickly. It's like he knew what to do when he did what needed to be done to save her life. So,
Yeah,
if I got my story right,
So
Shelby,
he had really actually,
do I?
yeah, he had just gotten out of prison, like not long before that, and he had gotten a job already, and he ended up coming home sick that day from work. A little upset stomach.
Yeah.
And he said that she was cooking some toast or something in the kitchen and came back and sat down, and he started talking to her, and she was just in the chair, just sitting up. And he said he tried to talk to her and put her on the ground and called 911. And by the time I can't remember if it was by the time they got to mom or by the time Dad got to talk to her, she was seizing again. And they were like, no, we're coming, I guess it was by the time the ambulance had got there, they were like, no, we're not even going to take her to the hospital. They care planted her straight from the hospital.
Yeah, where she
Did they
survived
fly
3
her or
aneurysms
drive?
because she's
Didn't they
tough.
fly her? Yeah.
Yes.
Didn't
Well,
she last
because
flight?
we were,
Yeah.
we were at Peckerwood Flats when that happened.
Mm.
And they
Yes.
took her from Peckerwood Flats to Winsboro and care flighted her to Tyler.
Yes. Yeah.
They took her to a
So
hospital.
yes, we've always told James thank you, because the Lord had him there in the right place at the right time, doing the right things, doing stuff.
I don't really know how long it took after, because she had the 3 aneurysms, 2 first, and she still had the one that was foiled. I don't know how long it took her to really get back to what her semi-normal or her normal, her new normal was.
Mhm.
Yes, her new normal. Yeah.
But and I don't know if necessarily that was we were talking about mom and dad, if that was necessarily a mom decision.
Mhm.
Or if that was my dad.
Yeah.
He really just stepped out. But once she got better, yes, not that he stepped out, because him and I were up there every day after school. He drove this little S10 pickup truck every day when we got out of school. We would drive up to Tyler and see her for weeks. Yeah. But I don't know. I remember, everybody kind of taking over, I guess, at that point, because he had to go back to work. He couldn't, and everybody was trying to take turns at that point.
So didn't Beth and Shirley
I think
come
there was
up?
a lot of I did. I guess at some point, I don't know.
Yeah, I know I'd come
was
up
so
at
many.
one point. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But they, I don't know. I guess it was, I know, and I can't really remember. Did she go through a rehab?
I don't remember if she went through a rehab. I remember us being at the house with her. A lot. I don't know if they entered the rehab. But
I can't ever remember.
Yeah.
But she couldn't do for herself for a long time.
Yes.
She listened. Mine and mom's relationship. She was brain damaged. She didn't remember something right, or she thought I did. I'm like, no, you don't remember right because your brain's all messed up. You got brain damage. I always tell her it's David and Doug's fault that they gave her the high blood pressure, and that's why she had her injuries.
And you're just here to take care of her with no problem.
Which is what I've done.
Yeah.
I tried, but she's pretty dadgum stubborn. Or she was pretty stubborn.
She's pretty resilient, like the ever ready bunny.
Stubborn, It's called stubborn.
Yes. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking, don't she?
Yes.
She did. Yeah. So I would call that resilience. Yes. She's special.
Shelby, thank you for opening that hurt and talking about your mother, because she really was just such a joy to know, and we're all blessed because she was in our life as an aunt, as a sister, as a mom. So I appreciate that, because I know how hard it is, especially after you lose. Well, I don't know how hard it is. Let me take that back. I don't know how hard it is. I can imagine how hard it is to be and try to bring up some of those old memories after your mom is gone. So thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. I know it's vulnerable, and it's hard, and I know everybody's going to hear me cry.
Yeah.
And if it makes you feel any better, they're hearing all of us ridiculously.
That's true.
So we do appreciate you opening that, opening your old yah-yah wounds for us.
Yes. Well, I was really nervous to do this, for sure.
I know.
I'm glad I did though.
Yeah, and I think once you start hearing all of your cousins talk about it, if we can get more aunts on here, we're going to try to get more aunts. So if you start hearing everybody's stories and all that, I think it's gonna. I think if we don't do anything else with this podcast and nothing else happens, we have our voices and our lineage for our girls later on. You know, the stories there, which is I'm pretty excited about that. So if nothing ever happens, it's just us.
Because
talking to
us
us,
listening
and
to the
that's
radio
fine.
city.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. We have
Somebody in
us.
Belgium is listening.
Yeah, somebody in Belgium
Oh,
is
that's
listening
true.
to our
Very
our
cool.
Name
In
Dog
Canada.
family. Yeah,
In Canada.
yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah,
The
it is
Belgian
really
was
cool.
because of that. Maybe cheese and do some waffles.
Yeah, be amazing.
Yeah, somebody in Belgium thinking, "Ooh, these Texans, woof."
Yeah.
We're just here for comedic relief."
Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us. Today, we're back with Shelby. Be sure to like, follow, and all that stuff on social media. Subscribe to wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also check out our website at themotheryouknow.com. And you'll be back next week with another episode. We will talk to you there.